All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Buckle up, get ready for takeoff. Today, we'll be flying into the territory of a potential civil war. Yes, that's our destination today. A civil war. Could a civil war be possible in 2024 in the United States of America? The answer to that is a resounding no. Not on the level you're thinking. Now, I know the elections are coming up. That's why I'm addressing this issue. And do I have proof that there will be no civil war? At least as far as hand-to-hand combat and millions of Americans dying. That's not going to happen, folks. That is not going to happen. I'm going to tell you what inspired me to talk about this, because there's a guy on YouTube. You can look up Civil War in America and he'll pop right up. I think his channel is What If Alt History or something like that. His name is Rudyard or whatever. He'll pop up. He's been making the rounds on YouTube on different podcasts. He is the next Rabbi Jonathan Cahn. I remember first hearing Rabbi John. Yes. After about 9/11. So it was about 2012, 2013. He wrote this incredible, I forget the name of it now. I'm a senior. I don't have a teleprompter, so you can look up Rabbi Jonathan Cahn and the Shemitah, whatever he calls it, and he tied 9/11 in to historical stuff, and he just connected a few dots. And I was convinced for a while, because I'm going, well, he's got some interesting points. But will there be a civil war in America? No. No, no, and no, and I'm going to tell you why. My dad, who's lives next to me, he gets a Social Security check every month. And today was payday for anyone on SSI, SSD, or Social Security Retirement, SSR. So, anybody who gets a government check, especially government checks, today was payday. That got me to thinking, will there be a civil war? No, of course not. Why? Number one, we're all interdependent on each other. People depend on those Social Security checks. Nobody wants a civil war. A civil war means no more Social Security. There'll be no more SSI, no more SSD, no more food stamps, Medicare, Medicaid. Programs we've come to depend on. I want you to think rationally for a second and logically. Nobody wants a civil war. Think about that. We're too interconnected. We're too interdependent on each other. And not only are we interdependent because so many people depend on the government for their livelihoods. Yeah, they don't want their lives disrupted by a civil war. That means that there won't be any food stamps. They won't get their government check. How am I going to pay my rent? So, if you think about it on the scale that people are talking, oh my God, there's going to be a civil war, hand-to-hand combat. Don't listen to any of that YouTube nonsense. Okay? Now, the guy that's making the rounds, he did make some other statement about, make me think about it, even during the Great American Civil War, back in, 1860, the percentage of Americans who actually saw hand-to-hand combat was minuscule. We weren't burning our cities and towns down. There were battles that took place. Absolutely. They were battlefields. We have a shopping mall in Springfield called the Battlefield Mall, right? It's built on an actual battlefield. I'm trying to give you some historical context here. So, there were battles. A lot of young men lost their lives. Absolutely. Hand-to-hand combat. People went to war. And there was no social media back then. And it was sad. It was tragic. But percentage-wise, if you look at what the population was back then, let's look that up. I've got my trusty Copilot. We're talking about it. Let's look it up. What was the U.S. population in 1860? Let's see. Let's find out. Oh, let's see. Come on. Great. I don't have internet. I can't turn on my Copilot. Dang it. The internet out here sucks. We're on dial-up out here. So even just turning on my Copilot, it's not coming on. Oh man, let's see. Let's go here. Your AI companion, come on. Let's try another route. I'm trying to bring out my Copilot. Well, we wait for the internet to come on because it's on dial-up. I've got a neighbor next door. They probably get good internet. I have bad internet here. It's slowly coming up. Come on. It's that bad. Well, back to the topic. Well, we wait for the internet to load up. If and when it does. We're sorry we're unable to connect to the service at this time. Refresh. Come on. But percentage-wise, it was very small. The percentage of people who actually saw hand-to-hand combat during the Civil War was small. If you look at what the U.S. population was, like if you were living in California, you never saw it. In Missouri, there were battles in Missouri, but we weren't burning our cities and towns down. I can't bring up my Copilot. That's all right. We don't have internet here. We're on dial-up, so the internet we have takes forever to load up. So even during the Civil War, yeah, the loss of life was great, but only a small percentage of people saw hand-to-hand combat. It was a small percentage. Even at best, we were not burning our cities and towns down. Matter of fact, the majority of the U.S. population still had to get up and go to work. They still had to milk cows, plow fields, and all that. Their day-to-day lives were pretty much disrupted. I mean, not disrupted. They were pretty much normal. Things went on normally. So, what do I predict after the election? Here's what will happen. Regardless of who gets elected, there are going to be protests. That's a guarantee. Regardless of who gets elected, there are going to be protests. Will there be riots? If Trump gets elected, there'll be riots. If Kamala gets elected, the right don't generally riot. I've never known the people on the right to riot. I know what you're going to say. Oh, January 6th was a riot. No, they were invited in. The guards opened up the gates. They escorted them in. And nobody was hurt, to my knowledge. They didn't come in there with guns. No, it was... You can agree or disagree with me on that. But like I said, if Trump gets elected, yes, there will definitely be a couple of riots. Probably going to be in Seattle, Minneapolis, and Portland. Yeah. So those are 3 cities I predict that those seem to be blue cities. They seem to be Antifa strongholds where I believe they're going to protest the most, possibly riot, throw stones, throw bricks. Someone bring in a truckload of bricks. I bet somebody will. Let's smash a few windows. The problem is, this time around, Well, they may think, oh my gosh, he's Hitler and we're going to have to do this. I'm sorry, folks, but Trump, Kamala, Republicans and Democrats are two wings of the same bird. George Carlin had it right. It's a private club, and you and I are not in that club. I mean, sure, they want to rally their team. The blue team wants to get everybody rallied up. Oh my gosh, Trump's going to do this, Trump's going to do that. Vote, 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 vote. The red team is going to go, oh, Kamala's bad, she's evil, and vote, 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 fight, fight, fight. I understand you want to support your team, whether you're on the red team or the blue team, or you're on neither team. I'm on neither one. But I get it. But will there be a civil war? No. Like I said, number one, the country is too interconnected for that to happen. Number two, at best there'll be protests, maybe a couple of riots at best. The economy's not going to collapse. There's not going to be the end of the world. The country is too interdependent. We depend on each other too much. So we're so connected, part of a web. Nobody wants to disrupt the matrix, disrupt that web. That's not going to happen. The Civil War, like in that big movie, Civil War, no, not on that level. A skirmish at best, which will be put down quickly. Here's another thing you want to consider. Let's say you wanted to go participate in a protest. That's your constitutional right. Most of the protesters are virtue signaling for social media. Look at me. You know, click, 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 click. Look at me. I got my phone. So going, click, click, click. Look at me. That's the majority of people. Yes. Here I am. I'm at this protest. I got my sign. Click. Oh, I got 50 likes on that. Yeah, that's what it's all virtue signaling. That's 90% of it. I guarantee it. As far as people risking their jobs or putting their life on the line, no, they're not going to do that. I don't care what team they're on. They may be total anti-Trumpers. They're not going to risk their jobs and livelihood or put their life on the line. No one's going to do that. They may hate Trump. They may hate Kamala. But no one is going to risk losing their job over it. That I can guarantee that. The only people that have nothing to lose, well, they'll be out there protesting because they got nothing to lose. They get SSI, SSD. They don't have a job to go to, a family to support. Most of the people will not be participating even on that level. Oh, they might post on social media, hit the like button, or they'll go out there and hold up if and when they have time to do that. I have participated in a couple of protests. If and when I had the time off, I participated in an anti-lockdown. I had no job to go to. We were locked down. My job was closed. Hey, nothing better to do with my time. Let's go out and protest. I'm bored. I'm sitting at the house. I'm bored. I want to get out of the house and do something. So I did. Now, in this day and age, where people have jobs to go to, families to support, bills to pay, the percentage of people participating, even on the protest level, will be small. Even if they did, like I said, 90% of it is virtue signaling to get hearts and likes on social media. Whether it's Facebook, Quora, or whatever platform they're on, Instagram, doesn't matter what platform. There's several platforms, by the way. So that's all for hearts and likes. Virtue signaling, that's all it is. No one's going to risk their job. So the idea of a civil war is it's not going to happen, folks. Secondly, another thing, I was thinking about my dad getting his Social Security check, how Americans are too interdependent. A second reason I think there's not going to be a civil war like you saw in that movie called Civil War. That's a Hollywood movie. That's made up. That's On that level, on that scale, never going to happen. The second reason why it's never going to happen. Half of this country is morbidly obese. We're not even healthy enough to pick up a rifle or go to war or participate in hand-to-hand combat. I was at Walmart today looking at people and I'm going, these people aren't fit. The idea of them sacrificing their Social Security checks to go participate in something that they could risk losing their Social Security. I've never heard of that happening, but they're not healthy enough. They got families, kids, and grandkids, and they're not going to do that. They're just not. They have families. The holidays are coming up. No, we got Thanksgiving coming up. We got Christmas, and they want to spend time with their grandkids and their nieces and nephews. They're not going to do that. And the ones who are young enough, who are able to go to work, they got to go to work and pay their bills. People were doing that during the Great Civil War in the 1860s. It's true. Most people still had to get up, milk their cows, plow the fields, go to work. Their lives went on like usual. I was hearing something about it in the military, how many people actually see combat. Even in the military, the percentage of people that actually see hand-to-hand combat, even in the military, is minuscule. Like less than 3%. I think it's like 1% might actually see hand-to-hand combat. Well, I served in Desert Storm. Yeah, you served on an aircraft carrier with 6,000 other people. You're in an aircraft carrier. You're not going to see hand-to-hand combat. Even if your ship is in the war zone, you're not going to see actual combat. You're just not. Even if you're a pilot, the odds of you being in a real dogfight are slim. Yeah, slim. Oh, you might see other countries toying with you every once in a while. China might toy with you, but being fired upon, that's not likely. Oh, like in the movie Top Gun, that's a movie, by the way. Even if the Russians toyed with our pilots, they toy with them at best. Fire upon them? No. No, that's not going to happen. Oh, he's going to lock on me. He's toying with you. And even then, that's a rare occasion. So, we're not healthy enough to go to work. The economy is also in and of itself too interdependent on everything. On trucking, the railroads, the airports, all our products and services that we so depend on. It's all interconnected. Nobody wants a war. These truck drivers, they got to deliver their goods. They're not going to participate in your war. Who's going to participate who's going to put their life on the line? Nobody. I don't care if it's a cause they believed in. They'll hold up a protest sign, get hearts and likes on social media, their virtue signal, but they're not going to give up their job for it. They're certainly not going to give up their life for it. You're out of your mind to think that. Here's another reason that I think we're not going to be in a civil war. I just want everybody to think logically for a second. We're so self-absorbed. This is the selfie generation. Just getting people to participate in anything, if they're not glued to TikTok, if they're not scrolling, get them to participate in anything is a challenge. Look at your local house of worship. Let's take them for an example. Your church is having some kind of gathering or they need volunteers. Well, yeah, they get a handful of volunteers. Absolutely. There are people who pass out food baskets and stuff. People, even at that, how much of that is virtue signaling? Look, I'm handing out food baskets from my local church. Look, we're having this charity event. Oh, look, click, click, click. Look, click, click, click. It's like the protest. How much of that is virtue signaling? Or how much of that is FOMO? Are you truly participating, handing food to the people that need it, food baskets? Let's say they're giving out food baskets, right? You're giving out food baskets. Do you really think you should be posting that on social media? Do you do this out of the goodness of your heart, or you do it for likes? Why do you do it? Well, it's FOMO. Everybody in my Sunday school class is going to be there. If I don't be there, I'm missing out. So there may be some peer pressure to it, yeah. But getting people to participate, well, you're not putting your life on the line. What's different about that particular setting, whether it's trunk or treat, getting members of your church to park their cars? Oh, that's another one. Here's a good one, trunk or treat. Who's risking? There's nothing to risk. You dress up in your Halloween costumes for trunk or treat, right? That's a good one. And you park your car, open up your trunk, hand out candy to the kids. Your own kids are wearing costumes. Maybe you'll wear a costume to the event, right? The trunk or treat. But you're not risking your job. You're not risking your life for trunk or treat. I just want you to think about that for a second. So, we're self-absorbed. People would rather scroll on TikTok. They'd rather have their Netflix. They'd rather play video games. They'd rather go home and watch their movies. They're not going to participate in your little war. They surely not going to pick up a gun and risk their own life. No one's going to do that in this day and age. Comment below. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, share. I mean, to my opinion, nobody is going to do that. I just had to make this video as quickly as I could. I had something to say about this topic, and I'm here to calm everybody down. There is not going to be a civil war. The world is not going to end. The sky is not falling. If you really believe Chicken Little, the sky is falling, fine, believe that. Live in fear if that's what you want to believe. But I want you to think rationally for a second. No one's going to pick up a rifle. We'd rather be on our phones. We might go to a protest, just for hearts and likes and clicks. It's virtue signal. That's all. That's the only reason they go. FOMO, fear of missing out. That, at best, that's what you're going to get. So, if Trump gets elected, yeah, there'll be some protest. If Kamala gets elected, there'll be some protest. If Trump gets elected, there might be 2 or 3 riots. Portland, Minneapolis, Seattle. Cities I predict. I just saw on YouTube, people are boarding up in Washington, D.C. I wouldn't worry about it in Washington, D.C. That's a heavily fortified city. They're not going to have riots there. That's where the power brokers are at. They don't want it in their town. I guarantee it. Not in my backyard. No way. You go have your violent protest somewhere else. They're not going to do it in D.C. They're not going to have a riot in D.C. No, not where the power brokers are. Maybe another section of town. But they probably don't want it in their town at all. So go to Portland and do it. Go to Seattle. Go to Minneapolis. New York? No. California? Berkeley? No, there'd be protests. I'd be shocked if they weren't protesting. Berkeley's famous for their protest. But yeah, there won't be any civil war. Like I said, everybody's interconnected. Even if there was a skirmish, let's say a skirmish did happen. Just pretend for a moment that they're going to have a skirmish somewhere. It'll be put down so quickly by the National Guard, but that's everyone's fear. Well, we're going to come and we're just going to burn people's houses down, maybe kill a few Republicans, or that's not going to happen. No one's going to do that. No matter how much they hate Trump, nobody wants to risk going to jail, risk losing their life, risk ruining their lives. Oh, here's another one. If you go to a protest and it turns violent, You got this on you, it's ratting you out. It's your tattletale. It's recording everything you say and do, even if you don't have your location turned on. Yeah, it's recording you. It knows who you are because you got facial recognition, right? Fingerprints, your eyeballs, retina scan. It knows. It knows. If you participate in such a violent protest, do not have this thing on you. Make sure that the person next to you doesn't have one on his person either. It doesn't necessarily have to be your phone. It could be someone else's phone. It still knows who you are. If you speak, it'll identify you. But I'm wearing a mask. Well, that won't help you. Most people are dumb enough to have these things on them. That's their tattletale. That's your biggest rat is this. It sees and records everything you say and do. If you try to get a job somewhere, you didn't get hired. The employer's not going to tell you that. Oh, your name will come up, and AI will say, this person participated in a violent riot. Buildings were burned down. Houses were burned down. People were left homeless. Your name popped up as an activist who participated in a violent riot. You will not get hired because your phone ratted you out. I want you to think about that. This little thing right here. Come on. Trying to keep track of the time here. So this thing right here, it's your biggest tattletale. It could prevent you from getting a home loan, auto loan, getting a job. Your name pops up as participating in a riot. It knows who you are and it knows your ideology. It knows everything about you. Yeah, this thing right here. You think it's your friend. It could turn on you. It'll record you. It'll rat you out to the authorities. Who ratted on me? Doesn't have any feelings. It only reports facts. It reported, well, you were in Seattle. You were on such and such street. It could even record you throwing the brick through the window. Because it has cameras. It has eyeballs. It sees and hears, and it will rat you out in a second without giving it a thought. It doesn't have thoughts. It's AI. Has no feelings, no biases whatsoever. I want you to think about that before you decide you want to participate. Well, you have the right to protest. By all means, go protest. Don't forget, this thing is recording everything you see and do. If you decide you want to throw a brick, be careful. This thing is recording. You may think it doesn't have consequences. You may think shoplifting doesn't have consequences. I'll just steal $800 worth of groceries from Walmart. They can't prosecute me. But that phone will. It's recording you stealing. It knows you stole $800 worth of groceries. You get a job somewhere or try to get a job, try to get hired. Your name pops up and goes, you stole $800 worth of groceries from Walmart. It recorded you doing that. It knows you stole those groceries. Don't think it doesn't know. I want you to think about that for a second. So the idea of a civil war, don't listen to it. The videos and rhetoric you're hearing on social media, I'm here to tell you it's not going to happen. I'm here to tell you Americans would rather watch Netflix, rather be on TikTok, they'd rather be scrolling. Yeah, they'll be in a protest for clicks and views. But only an idiot would throw a rock through a building. You didn't know this was going on? If you thought you could get by with things, think again. Even in California, they got this law, right? You can steal a certain amount of goods that they won't prosecute you. What you're not understanding is this thing will. It's recording it. It sends it out to the internet, the ether. It knows what you did. It's ratted you out to potential employers. You won't be able to get a job. You can't get an auto loan. You can't get a home loan. Why? There's something in your record. You dig it up and go, how did they know about that? How did you know I stole $800 worth of groceries? Now, I didn't, but let's say you did steal. How did they know? This tells them everything they want to know. Just saying. Yeah. And so after 30 minutes, I had to make this video. Because there's so many people that they're convinced that we're going to have a civil war. They're convinced that Americans are going to turn on each other. The left, us versus them mentality. And Biden calling the Trumpers garbage, right? What happened in Nazi Germany can happen here. No, I don't think so. See, we have things happening today that didn't happen then. Like I said, we're too interdependent now. And too many people are wusses. I mean, people are going to get up and go to work and pay their bills. They're not going to put their life on the line or risk their jobs. Yeah. Nobody wants to risk anything. They just, hey, look, man, it's not my problem. Look, I got a family and I got kids. I can't risk losing my job. I can't. That's what people are going to say. That's going to be the majority of Americans, even if they don't have a family to think about. I could risk losing my job. So no, I'm not going to participate in your riot. I'm not going to throw a brick through a building and ruin my life for you. Forget it. And that's the majority. That's 99%. You have to worry about is the 1%. Yeah, there will be protests. Absolutely. 100%, I guarantee it. But a civil war like predicted in the movies? No. Don't believe that. I don't care what they say on YouTube. They do it for clicks. They click on that video and they're monetized. See, they make money every time you click on it. And you believe the nonsense they're spewing. Not using your thinking rational. They'll give every rational argument. They'll bring up historical context. What's different today is we have distractions. We have bread and circuses they didn't have then. We'd rather live in comfort. We'd rather have our air conditioning. We sit on our couch and play video games. We sit and scroll on TikTok. Yeah. Nobody's going to pick up a rifle and risk their life, even if it's for a cause they supported. They're not going to do that. Not going to happen, folks. I don't care what they say. I'm sure the lefty loosies are telling their people Trump is the next Hitler, but he's already been president for 4 years. Was he Hitler then? No. Where's their argument? And this is his last chance to be president. He can only run one time. This is it. He's gone. He's done. It's over. Each side is painting the other to be a communist, fascist, whatever. That's just to rally the troops. But there's not going to be a civil war, folks. Nobody wants that. We're not healthy enough. We're too obese. We're on too many medications. We're too self-absorbed. We're too interdependent on each other. No. Nobody wants to risk losing their jobs. Nobody wants to risk getting shot. Yeah. You want me to take a bullet? No. Now, I'll take a bullet from my wife and kids if someone's breaking into my house But that's different. That's self-defense. Go on the offense? No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to pick up a gun. I won't even pick up it doesn't matter to me who gets elected. I'm going to get up and go to work, come home, pay my bills like I do every other day. Nothing's going to change. And that's going to be that's 99.9% of you. Nothing's going to change. You still got to get up and go to work and pay your bills. Provide for your kids. Put food on the table. I think I repeated myself. I think I said everything I wanted to say because I just want to get the point across. I want to thank everybody for watching my videos. I'm checking my analytics today and I'm going, oh my God, the last one I did about the young men, I responded to some woman made a TikTok rant discussing why men can't get laid, they can't get dates, all her red flags, and wow, you people really like that video. I was just being myself like I am right now. And I want to thank every one of you for watching. I want to thank you for support. You support me just by watching this video. Whether you hit the like button or not, the fact that you watched it, you're supporting me. You don't have to send me money. You support me. Just watch the video. That's it. I'd like you to hit the like button. I would love for you to engage. Share your thoughts on a potential civil war, because that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody. Would you? Would you be willing to risk your job, risk your life, risk going to prison, risk getting shot and killed, even for something you believed in? Are you willing to do that? No. You may say that. Yeah, you'll risk your life to protect your family should someone break through your front door. But that's the majority of people. But you're not going to. You might have a protest sign. You might protest that Trump got elected. You might protest that Kamala got elected. But a violent riot? No. That's majority of us, no. That's not going to happen. There won't be one state against the other, blue states versus the red states. You know, states seceding from the union. It's too complicated. That's not going to happen either. There's not going to be any states succeeding. So let's put that on the table. Will states, some of the red states, succeed if Trump don't get elected? No. No. It's too complicated. We're too interdependent, interconnected anymore. Everybody's plugged into the matrix. Nobody wants to get unplugged. No state is going to succeed. Why? Because they got seniors who depend on those government checks, who depend on their Medicare, Medicaid, and any other government. So it's too interconnected. We depend on the trucking industry to bring in the food. So no one's going to do that. I'm just being logical and rational. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Comment below. What are your thoughts on a potential civil war in America? Yes or no? I gave you my reasons why I don't think we're going to have one. Whether we're too unhealthy, too self-absorbed in our own little world. Yeah. Too interconnected for that to happen. Yeah. I just want you to think rationally for a second. Would you participate and risk losing your job, losing your life, go to prison? No, you wouldn't. Not in this day and age. This isn't the Second World War. This isn't 1860. This is 2024. With these things watching everything you say and do. Be careful what you say and do. Would you risk it? No, you wouldn't. You're going to think more about yourself. What's in it for me? What have I got to lose? Even if you think, oh, I don't have a wife and kids, I don't have that to lose, but I do need to have a job. I do need a new car pretty soon. I need to be a car loan. These things will rat you out in a heartbeat. So comment below. I got to end this video. Time for me to say goodbye. I think I repeated myself a few times. I just want to get the point across. I want to make sure you people get it. There will be no civil war. So whatever the other YouTubers are saying, not going to happen. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. Thank you, thank you. Comment. I want to hear what you have to say. Thank you. Bye-bye.